A new neighbor is always a bit of a gamble, but 32-year-old Shine Kabalo never imagined her closest confidant would be the 82-year-old widower next door. This unlikely friendship, sparked by a simple request, would defy expectations and redefine the meaning of family. The relentless march of time often leaves a trail of solitude, particularly for the elderly who have witnessed the departure of loved ones. In our fast-paced, digitally driven world, the quiet ache of loneliness can become a constant companion. The simple act of human connection, a shared laugh, a helping hand, could be a lifeline, a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness. This is a story of such a connection, a testament to the unexpected friendships that blossom in the most ordinary of places, proving that family can be found where you least expect it. Callahan, 82, knew loneliness intimately. He resided in a modest, two-story house, now eerily silent, a stark contrast to the decades filled with the joyous clamor of family life. His wife, Margaret, had passed away 6 months prior, a loss that had left an unfillable void. He was the last surviving sibling of his generation, the final leaf clinging to a once vibrant family tree. His days were a monotonous cycle of quiet meals, daytime television, and the occasional melancholic glance at old photographs. Then, a whirlwind of energy arrived next door. Shine Kabalo, 32, a vibrant mother of 5, relocated her family from the sprawling landscapes of Texas to the quaint, close-knit community of Tuck at Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. She was a mix of nervous anticipation and determined optimism. Moving across the country with 5 children was no small feat, but Shine was a woman who embraced challenges with a smile and an unwavering belief in the goodness of people. She prayed that this new neighborhood would welcome them, that her children would find friends, and that she, perhaps, could build a new life, brick by brick. The neighborhood, nestled amongst rolling hills and lined with mature trees, was everything Shine had hoped for. It exuded a warmth and friendliness that immediately put her at ease. Neighbors waved from their porches, children played freely in the streets, and the air hummed with a sense of community. Little did Shine know, one particular neighbor would soon change her life, and his in ways neither could have imagined. The moving day was a symphony of controlled chaos. Boxes were stacked precariously high, furniture was wrestled through doorways, and the 5 Kabalo children, ranging in age from 3 to 13, added their own unique brand of energetic disarray. Shine, with a baby strapped to her chest and a toddler clinging to her leg, somehow managed to direct traffic, unpack essentials, and maintain a semblance of order. One particularly stubborn task required a ladder, hanging a cherished family portrait above the fireplace. Shine hesitated, unsure who to ask in this new, unfamiliar neighborhood. She peered out the window, her gaze landing on the house next door, a neat, well-kept home with a meticulously manicured lawn. An elderly gentleman was tending to his rose bushes, his movements slow but deliberate. It was Paul. Taking a deep breath, Shine ventured out, the baby now nestled in a carrier. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice slightly hesitant. "I'm Shine, your new neighbor. I hate to bother you, but I was wondering if I could possibly borrow a ladder, just for a little while." Paul straightened up, his back creaking in protest. He turned, revealing a kind face etched with the lines of time, his eyes a pale blue that held a hint of sadness, but also a spark of curiosity. His silver hair, neatly combed, framed a face that radiated warmth. "Well, hello there, Shine," he said, his voice a gentle, slightly raspy baritone. "Paul Callahan. Welcome to the neighborhood. And of course, you can borrow a ladder. I've got one in the garage. Come on over." As Shine followed him to the garage, she couldn't help but notice the meticulous order of his tools, each one hanging in its designated place. It spoke volumes about the man, organized, methodical, and perhaps a little lonely. The ladder was retrieved, and as Paul helped Shine carry it back to her house, a conversation unfolded. It started with small talk, the weather, the move, the challenges of unpacking. But soon it delved deeper. Shine spoke of her hopes for a fresh start, her desire to create a loving home for her children. Paul listened intently, his eyes softening as he observed the young mother's determination and resilience. "It takes a village, you know," Paul said, a wistful smile playing on his lips. "Raising kids, Margaret and I, we never had any of our own, but we always loved having the neighborhood kid around." The house used to be filled with laughter. Shine noticed the subtle shift in his tone, the hint of melancholy that crept into his voice. She sensed a story there, a history of joy and loss. Over the next few days, Paul became a frequent visitor. He'd stop by with a different tool, a hammer, a screwdriver, a level, offering not only the use of the implement but also his expertise. "Now, you want to make sure you use the right kind of nail for this," he'd say, patiently demonstrating the proper technique. "And always measure twice, cut once." That was Margaret's motto. Their conversations continued, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences and burgeoning friendship. Shine learned about Paul's life with Margaret, their travels, their shared love of gardening, their quiet evenings spent together. Paul, in turn, learned about Shine's life as a single mother, it later being revealed that Wilson, the father, was very much in the picture and worked long hours, the joys and struggles of raising 5 children, her dreams for their future. Shine did share that Wilson was working extra long hours to help the family get ahead, and that he'd be thrilled to meet him as well. Shine began to realize that Paul's visits weren't just about the tools. He was lonely. He craved connection, companionship, the simple act of sharing a conversation with another human being. The tools were merely an excuse, a way to bridge the gap between his quiet solitude and the vibrant, bustling life next door. The realization struck Shine with a profound sense of empathy. She saw beyond the cheerful facade, the helpful neighbor, and recognized the deep well of loneliness that resided within Paul. She imagined him sitting alone in his house, surrounded by memories, longing for the days when laughter and life filled the rooms. She confided in Wilson, her husband, sharing her observations about Paul. Wilson, a kind and compassionate man himself, immediately agreed that they should do something to reach out to their elderly neighbor. "He seems like a good man, Shine," Wilson said. "And if he's lonely, we should definitely invite him over. The kids would love him." The opportunity presented itself sooner than expected. The Kabalos were planning a backyard barbecue, a casual gathering to celebrate their successful move and to get to know some of their other neighbors. Shine, her heart pounding with a mixture of nervousness and hope, approached Paul while he was tending to his roses. "Paul," she began, "we're having a little barbecue this weekend. Just a casual get-together. We'd love it if you could join us." Paul looked up, his eyes widening in surprise. A slow smile spread across his face, chasing away the shadows of loneliness. "Well, now that's mighty kind of you, Shine. I'd be delighted." The barbecue was a resounding success. The aroma of grilled food filled the air, children shrieked with laughter as they played tag in the yard, and adults chatted and mingled under the warm afternoon sun. Paul, initially a bit hesitant, soon found himself drawn into the heart of the festivities. He sat in a lawn chair, a plate of food balanced on his lap, and watched the Kabalo children with a wistful fondness. He regaled them with stories of his own childhood, tales of mischievous adventures and long-ago summers. The children, in turn, were captivated by his gentle demeanor and his seemingly endless supply of anecdotes. Shine watched the interaction with a warmth spreading through her chest. She saw the genuine joy on Paul's face, the light that had returned to his eyes. It was a small gesture, a simple invitation, but it had made a world of difference. As the evening wore on, Paul and Shine found themselves sitting together, the sounds of the party fading into a comfortable background hum. "Thank you, Shine," Paul said, his voice thick with emotion. This means the world to me. It's been a long time since I've felt this connected." Shine reached out and placed a hand on his arm. "We're happy to have you, Paul. You're part of the neighborhood now. You're part of our family." From that day forward, the bond between Paul and the Kabalo family deepened. He became a regular fixture at their dinner table, a welcome guest at their family gatherings, a trusted confidant and friend. He taught the older children how to play chess, patiently explaining the intricacies of the game. He helped the younger ones build a magnificent tree house in the backyard, sharing his woodworking skills and his boundless enthusiasm. He told Shine stories about Margaret, his voice filled with love and longing. He spoke of their first meeting, their courtship, their shared dreams and adventures. He showed her old photographs, faded images of a young, vibrant couple, their eyes shining with the promise of a lifetime together. Shine, in turn, shared her own stories with Paul. She talked about the challenges of raising 5 children, the financial struggles, the moments of doubt and exhaustion. She confided in him about her hopes and fears, her dreams for her children's future. Paul listened patiently, offering words of encouragement and wisdom gleaned from his 8 decades of life experience. Evenings were often spent on the Kabalo's porch. Paul and the family gathered around, sharing stories and laughter. Sometimes they'd watch a movie together, the children snuggled up against Paul, feeling safe and loved. Other times, they'd play board games, the competitive spirit tempered by a shared sense of fun. The conversations between Paul and Shine were often the most profound. They spoke of life, loss, love, and the enduring power of human connection. They found solace in each other's company, a shared understanding that transcended the vast difference in their ages. They were 2 souls, connected by a bond of friendship that defied explanation, a testament to the unexpected beauty of human relationships. They'd often discuss Wilson's work, and Paul, with a twinkle in his eye, would share advice based on his years of experience. The transformation was gradual, subtle, yet profound. Paul Callahan, the lonely widower, was no longer just a neighbor. He was Uncle Paul, a cherished member of the Kabalo family, an honorary grandfather to the 5 children who had, quite unexpectedly, filled the void in his life. The children adored him. They flocked to him, eager to hear his stories, to share their own triumphs and tribulations, to bask in his gentle affection. He had a knack for making them feel special, for listening with genuine interest, for offering words of encouragement and wisdom that resonated far beyond their years. The older children, Maya and David, would often seek his advice on school projects or confide in him about their teenage anxieties. He listened patiently, offering a perspective that was both grounded and empathetic. He never judged, never dismissed their concerns, but instead helped them navigate the complexities of adolescence with a gentle guiding hand. The younger children, Sarah, Emily, and little Leo, were simply enthralled by his presence. They loved to sit on his lap, listening to his stories of fantastical creatures and daring adventures. He would create elaborate puppet shows for them, using his hands and a variety of silly voices to bring the characters to life. One particular tradition became a cherished ritual: Sunday morning pancake breakfasts. Paul would arrive at the Kabalo house early, armed with his special pancake recipe, a secret blend of ingredients that produced the fluffiest, most delicious pancakes imaginable. The children would gather around the kitchen island, their eyes wide with anticipation, as Paul expertly flipped the pancakes, filling the air with a tantalizing aroma. Then came Father's Day. Shine and the children had been secretly planning a surprise for Paul. They knew that this day, more than any other, must be particularly difficult for him. They wanted to show him how much he meant to them, how much they appreciated his presence in their lives. They had worked together to create a handmade gift, a collaborative effort that reflected their love and gratitude. Maya, the artistic one, had painted a portrait of Paul, capturing his kind smile and the twinkle in his eyes. David, the budding writer, had penned a heartfelt poem expressing the children's affection for their Uncle Paul. Sarah and Emily had decorated a picture frame with colorful beads and glitter, while little Leo, with some help from Shine, had made a handprint card. On Father's Day morning, they presented Paul with their gifts. He sat in his usual chair on the porch, surrounded by the children, his eyes welling up with tears as he unwrapped each treasure. He looked at the portrait, the poem, the decorated frame, and the tiny handprint, his heart overflowing with emotion. This is the most wonderful Father's Day I've ever had," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "Thank you. Thank you all. You've given me a family again." From that day forward, the children officially started calling him Grandpa Paul, a title that he wore with pride and joy. He was no longer just Uncle Paul. He was a grandfather, a figure of love, wisdom, and unwavering support. Paul's stories became legendary within the Kabalo household. He had a seemingly endless repertoire of tales, drawn from his own life experiences, from his travels, from his vivid imagination. He would tell stories of his childhood on a farm, of his adventures as a young man, of his courtship with Margaret, of the joys and challenges of their life together. He told stories of fantastical creatures, of brave knights and daring explorers, of mischievous fairies and wise old wizards. He would weave tales of faraway lands, of hidden treasures, of magical quests, and epic battles. He would use different voices for each character, his eyes twinkling with amusement as the children listened with rapt attention. But his stories weren't just entertaining. They were also filled with subtle life lessons. He taught the children about the importance of kindness, compassion, and respect. He emphasized the value of hard work, perseverance, and honesty. He instilled in them a love of learning, a curiosity about the world, and a deep appreciation for the beauty of nature. He became a bridge between generations, sharing wisdom collected from a lifetime of experience. He and Wilson connected over stories of back in the day, and Wilson would often good-naturedly say, "Okay, now I feel old." Paul, in turn, found a renewed sense of purpose in his life. He was no longer adrift in a sea of loneliness. He had a family again, a reason to get up in the morning, a reason to smile, a reason to live. He felt rejuvenated, his spirit lifted by the infectious energy of the children and the genuine affection of Shine and Wilson. He was healthier, happier, and more engaged with life than he had been in years. The quiet, lonely house next door was no longer a place of sadness, but a place of warmth, laughter, and the enduring power of human connection. Life, as it often does, threw a curveball. Paul, despite his renewed vigor and youthful spirit, was still an 82-year-old man. His health, which had been remarkably good, began to decline. It started subtly, with occasional bouts of fatigue and shortness of breath. He dismissed them at first, attributing them to his age, but Shine, with her perceptive nature, noticed the changes. She gently encouraged him to see a doctor, offering to drive him to the appointment. Paul, initially reluctant, eventually agreed. The diagnosis was a blow: congestive heart failure. It was a manageable condition, but required medication, lifestyle changes, and regular monitoring. The news hit the Kabalo family hard. The children, especially the younger ones, were confused and worried. They couldn't imagine their Grandpa Paul being sick. Shine and Wilson, while concerned, were determined to provide Paul with the support he needed. "Your family, Paul," Shine said, her voice firm with conviction. "We're going to get through this together. You're not alone." And they did. Shine became Paul's primary caregiver, ensuring he took his medication, followed his doctor's instructions, and maintained a healthy diet. She would prepare nutritious meals for him, often modifying his favorite recipes to be heart-healthy. Wilson would help with the more strenuous tasks around Paul's house, mowing the lawn, fixing leaky faucets, and ensuring that everything was in good working order. The children, in their own way, also contributed. They would visit Paul regularly, bringing him drawings, cards, and stories to cheer him up. They would sit with him, watching his favorite television shows, playing board games, or simply listening to his stories. Their presence, their laughter, their unwavering affection were the best medicine of all. But the challenges weren't limited to Paul's health. Life had a way of testing the Kabalo family as well. Wilson, a dedicated and hardworking man, faced unexpected difficulties at work. His company was undergoing restructuring, and there was a threat of layoffs. The stress weighed heavily on him, and the financial uncertainty cast a shadow over the family. Paul, despite his own health concerns, became a source of strength and support for Wilson. He listened patiently as Wilson confided his worries, offering words of encouragement and wisdom gleaned from his own life experiences. He reminded Wilson of his resilience, his resourcefulness, and his unwavering commitment to his family. "You're a good man, Wilson," Paul would say. "You've got a good head on your shoulders, and you've got a loving family to support you. You'll get through this. I know you will." Paul's words, his unwavering belief in Wilson, provided a much-needed boost of confidence. He helped Wilson explore different options, brainstorm potential solutions, and even offered to help with the family's finances, drawing from his own modest savings. The challenges, both Paul's health and Wilson's work situation, served to strengthen the bond between the two families. They learned to rely on each other, to support each other through thick and thin, to share both the joys and the sorrows of life. They were a testament to the power of human connection, a living example of how unexpected friendships can blossom into something truly extraordinary. One particularly poignant moment highlighted the depth of their connection. Paul had a severe episode, requiring a trip to the emergency room. Shine stayed with him the entire time, holding his hand, reassuring him, and advocating for his care. The children, worried and anxious, waited at home with Wilson, sending prayers and well wishes. When Paul finally returned home, weak but stable, the children rushed to greet him, showering him with hugs and kisses. He looked at them, his eyes filled with tears, and said, "You're my family. You're all I have, and I'm so grateful for you." There are also milestones. Paul was there to celebrate Maya's high school graduation, beaming with pride as she walked across the stage to receive her diploma. He helped David build a model airplane, sharing his knowledge of aerodynamics and his passion for aviation. He attended Sarah's dance recital, cheering her on with enthusiastic applause. He helped Emily with her science project, marveling at her curiosity and her thirst for knowledge. And he read countless bedtime stories to little Leo, his voice a soothing balm that lulled the young boy to sleep. He even became proficient at video games, much to the amusement and sometimes frustration of the younger children. These moments, big and small, were the threads that wove together the fabric of their unconventional family. They were a testament to the enduring power of love, connection, and the unexpected blessings that life can bring. Paul and the Kabalos weathered every storm, always finding solace and strength in each other. The years passed, marked by a tapestry of shared moments, both joyous and challenging. Paul Callahan, the lonely widower who had once measured his days by the setting sun, now found himself surrounded by a vibrant, loving family, his life infused with a purpose and a joy he had thought lost forever. His friendship with Shine Kabalo, a bond forged by a simple act of kindness, had blossomed into something extraordinary, a testament to the transformative power of human connection. Paul's health continued to be a concern, requiring ongoing care and occasional hospitalizations. But he faced each challenge with grace and resilience, buoyed by the unwavering support of the Kabalo family. He often said that they had given him a new lease on life, that they had saved him from a lonely existence, that they had filled his heart with a love he had never expected to experience again. Shine, in turn, often reflected on how much Paul had enriched their lives. He had brought wisdom, patience, and a gentle perspective to their family. He had taught the children the value of kindness, compassion, and respect. He had become a beloved grandfather figure, a source of unconditional love and unwavering support. The story of Paul and Shine became a local legend, a heartwarming tale whispered among neighbors, a testament to the power of community and the unexpected friendships that can blossom in the most ordinary of places. It was a reminder that family is not defined solely by blood, but by the bonds of love, loyalty, and shared experience. One warm summer evening, as the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the neighborhood, Paul and the Kabalo family gathered on the porch, just as they had done countless times before. The children were older now, their lives branching out in different directions, but they still gathered around Grandpa Paul, eager to hear his stories, to share their own experiences, to bask in his gentle presence. Paul looked at each of them, his eyes filled with a love that transcended words. He saw Maya, a confident young woman pursuing her dreams. He saw David, a thoughtful and articulate young man, preparing for college. He saw Sarah, a talented dancer, her spirit shining brightly. He saw Emily, a budding scientist, her curiosity insatiable. And he saw little Leo, no longer a toddler, but a young boy filled with wonder and a thirst for adventure. He'd even helped Wilson to start his own business, drawing from his own past experiences, and Wilson often credited Paul with giving him the kick in the pants he needed. You know, Paul said, his voice a soft, raspy whisper, "I used to think that my life was over when Margaret passed. I thought I'd just fade away. But then you all came along, and you gave me a reason to live. You gave me a family. You gave me more joy than I ever thought possible." Shine reached out and took his hand, her eyes filled with tears. "You gave us so much too, Paul," she said. "You taught us about the importance of family, about the power of connection, about the beauty of life, even in the face of loss. You're one of the best things that's ever happened to us." The ending is left intentionally open. Paul's health is fragile, but his spirit remains strong. The Kabalo family continues to thrive, their lives intertwined with Paul's in ways that are both profound and enduring. This story, at its core, is a reflection on the profound impact of human connection. It reminds us that loneliness, particularly among the elderly, is a pervasive issue, and that even small acts of kindness can make a world of difference. It challenges us to look beyond our own immediate circles, to reach out to those who may be isolated and alone, to offer a hand in friendship, to create a sense of community and belonging. It also celebrates the unexpected beauty of intergenerational friendships. Paul and Shine, despite their vast age difference, found common ground, a shared understanding, and a deep mutual respect. They learned from each other, supported each other, and enriched each other's lives in countless ways. The story leaves us with a sense of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always the possibility of finding light, love, and connection. It encourages us to cherish the relationships in our own lives, to nurture the bonds that tie us together, and to create a world where no one feels truly alone. It begs the questions: who in your life could use a little extra connection? What small act of kindness can you offer today? It's a call to action, a gentle nudge to build bridges, to foster community, and to embrace the unexpected friendships that can blossom in the most surprising of places. The legacy of Paul and Shine lives on, not just in their neighborhood, but in the hearts of everyone who hears their story.